Hello everyone! It's finally time to review the 8BitDo Ultimate Controller. There are two versions, the 2.4G wireless and the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth version is compatible with the Nintendo Switch and Windows, and the 2.4G with Windows and Android. Bluetooth connectivity is only available in the Bluetooth version. They are extremely similar, but there are a few differences in functionalities and some internal components. And the pink color is exclusive to the 2.4G version. In the box, you'll receive the controller, and a USB charging dock. Inside the dock, you'll have the 2.4 GHz adapter, and this adapter is required to use the controller wirelessly. If you lose it, you'll have to use only the wired connection, or buy another adapter. And here's the manual. And you'll also receive a 1 meter long charging cable. And you'll receive the same items with the Bluetooth version. The only difference is that the charging cable is white. Here's the manual for the Bluetooth version. The pink version has colored buttons with the Xbox layout and black shoulder buttons. And the white version has white buttons with the Nintendo Switch layout, and the shoulder buttons are white. There is also a pair button on the top. On the ergonomics side, this controller feels like an Xbox controller. The back buttons are the same as the 8BitDo Pro 2. They are even positioned in the same place, which is great because it's a position that avoids accidental presses. You have to move back your fingers a little bit to reach them. On the back of the controller, there is also a switch. On the Bluetooth version, you can change between Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz. And in the 2.4G version, it's used to change between D input and X input. Since the 2.4G is not compatible with the Switch, you won't have the LEDs for the player number. They are present only in the Bluetooth version. The dock is very stylish and has a single USB Type-C port on the back. And it has these really long pogo pins that will charge your controller when it's docked. it connects with a satisfying click, and since the pins are so long, it really holds your controller in place. Okay, not so much in order to defy gravity, but you can definitely see how much I tilt the dock before the controller falls off. It's really stable on the sides and backwards, but it's somewhat easy to knock it off on the front. The dock also has rubberized feet, and a charging LED on the front. I'll show you that later. The D-pad is great. It is the same as the 8BitDo Pro 2. It has a nice pivot in the center, and it doesn't sink too much when you press it in the center. The face buttons and the plus, minus, and star buttons have rubber membranes. The home and profile selector have clicky switches. The shoulder buttons and analog triggers also have rubber membranes. The back buttons also have clicky switches, and they can be pressed in any point. You can press the home button to turn on the controller, and long press it to turn it off. The analog sticks have a nice tension, and they are also clickable. And the tension is the same between the Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz version. Compared with the Xbox controller, the 8BitDo Ultimate have a wider section on the shoulder buttons, but the lower part of the controller is almost identical. Even the texture on the plastic is exactly the same. And speaking about similarities, the top part of the controller is identical to the Pro controller. And to finish the Ultimate Fusion, the shoulder buttons are very similar to the DualSense. And even though this version is compatible with the Nintendo Switch, the triggers are named L2 and R2. Here's the color comparison with the DualSense. The 8BitDo has a warmer tone. And here's the pink controller. It's a very subtle tone, much lighter than the color shown in the box. And it almost looks white when you put the Joy-Cons close to it. Here's the comparison between the buttons. With the Bluetooth version, you only need to turn it on and it will automatically pair with your Nintendo Switch. If you need to repair it, you can press the pairing button. Let's test the Wakeup function. And nope, this controller can't wake up your Switch. It has motion controls, and they work fine in my opinion. The D-pad has great diagonals and it's awesome to play 2B games. And the analog sticks has no dead zones in the axis. They are compatible with the button remap function on the Switch. And there is no HD rumble, just the normal rumble motors. The back buttons and profiles comes empty out of the box, but you can download the 8BitDo Ultimate software and register any configuration you want. Here's the Circularity test on PC. And though it has Hall effect sticks, it is slightly different from the King Kong 2 Pro, with that one having a 0.6 average error. Here you can see the sensibility of the triggers. And here's the diagonals on the D-pad. On the 2.4 GHz version, it has a slightly higher average error, but this version also doesn't have any dead zones in the axis. And everything else has the same quality. You can also use the 8BitDo Ultimate software on Windows. And it has the same options and configurations of the smartphone app. As expected, the 2.4 GHz version does not have Bluetooth connectivity. But here's something really weird. The Bluetooth version has Bluetooth, but it will only be recognized as a Pro controller. This means that it doesn't have X input, and with that, there is a lot of compatibility issues. For example, on PC, the gamepad tester will not see the controller at all. If the game you're playing supports the Pro controller, like Shovel Knight Dig, you can play it with no problems. You can see by the ZR button input that it's detecting the controller as a Pro controller indeed. Emulators will also detect this controller easily. But if the game you're playing only supports X input, it won't work at all. There should be an option to change the input method in the Bluetooth connectivity, but it doesn't, leaving you with the only option to use the 2.4 GHz dongle. And of course, with a dongle, you have a faster connection. With the pink controller, you can change between D input and X input. The advantage of D input is that the back buttons are unique buttons instead of shortcuts. And the USB port in the dock works as a pass-through port. This means that you can leave the 2.4 GHz adapter there and connect the dock directly to your computer. When you remove your controller, it will be instantly paired and ready to use. And you can even connect pretty much anything to that port. It's just in an awkward position, unlike the Apex 3 dock, which is easily accessible. Here's the dock LED when the controller is charging. It makes the dock and controller look really cool on your setup. For the teardown, this controller is disassembled just like the Xbox Series X controller. You have to remove 6 Torx screws on the side. And pay attention to this hidden screw here. The face of the controller easily pops off, and pay attention again to this flat cable here. You can access all of the face buttons easily. Here you can see the board, membranes, and contacts. And sadly, the buttons are not swappable. You have the same thing on the Bluetooth version. On the back of the shell, you can see the contacts for the charger and the back buttons. and you have a 480 mAh battery, 20 mAh less than what is specified in the back of the controller. On the 2.4 GHz version, you have regular Alps potentiometer sticks. And here you can see the rubber membranes for the triggers. And exclusively to the Bluetooth version, you have Hall effect sticks made by GullyKit. The sticks here have a slightly different model from the King Kong 2 Pro. But they are indeed Hall effect sticks, and you can see the sensors right here. And to finally prove that they are indeed Hall effect sticks, here's the magnet test. If the magnets change the position of the sticks without touching it, it means that they are not potentiometer based. And that's it for this review. The 8BitDo Ultimate Controller has many upgrades over the 8BitDo Pro 2, but at the same time, it removed important features hurting the overall experience. With the Pro 2, the only downside is that you don't have a 2.4 GHz dongle. The Ultimate fixes that adding the dongle in the box, but then it removed the different input methods, removing the compatibility with some games. What's even more weird is that the 2.4 GHz dongle don't have Bluetooth compatibility. It says in the box that it's compatible with Android, but it requires the 2.4 GHz dongle to work. This means that you have to use an OTG adapter to use it on your smartphone. And this time you also don't have a removable battery like the Pro 2. But now you have a charging dock to keep your controller always at full charge. Aside from those problems, everything else in this controller is high quality. The analog sticks has no dead zones in the axis, the D-pad is the absolute best that I have ever tested, and the Hall effect sticks on the Bluetooth version will guarantee a long durability of this controller. If you already have a Pro 2, I would only recommend updating if you really want the 2.4 GHz connection and the Hall effect sticks of the Bluetooth version. And if I'd had to pick between the Pro 2 and the Ultimate, I'd still pick the Pro 2. The different input methods saves you from a lot of headaches with game compatibility. And though the dock, dongle, and Hall effect sticks are quite nice, I still prefer the removable battery and Super Nintendo layout of the Pro 2. And that's all for this review. What did you think of the Ultimate controller? Is it really ultimate? Leave your opinions in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.